Hi, thanks for tuning in. Today I want to share an in-depth comparison video of the 4 HERMES handbags that I currently have in my collection. I recently did an HERMES best and worst and shared some of my thoughts on the ever so popular Constance style from HERMES, and in that video I shared that I could do this sort of in-depth comparison, and some of you had requested that I do that. So that's today's video. I wanted to do that while it was top of mind so I didn't forget any of the points that I wanted to mention. I'm going to try to keep this video as succinct as possible, so I'm going to jump right into it, but if you do have any other questions, feel free to leave them down below in the comments and I'll answer them as best I can. For those of you tuning in for the first time, hi, I'm Katie. I like to do these luxury fashion videos here on YouTube. I share reviews and haul videos, but at the end of the day, I am sharing my journey so that we can all mindfully curate our collections. So if you like what you're seeing, please subscribe to my channel, like this video, and leave a comment down below. That all really helps me out a lot. I don't know if it was like because spring is coming, like I was just feeling a little, I don't know, I felt like doing a different hairdo, wearing a hat and all this jazz. So let me know what you feel about this. Like, I don't know, I feel like I'm about to go to a ball game, but I just was feeling this look. So I'm going to go ahead and share the 4 handbags that I have in my collection. I'll share them in order of acquisition, so oldest to newest. The oldest HERMES handbag I have in my collection is this Vespa TPM size. It is in this gorgeous orange color, and I believe it's like an Epsom leather. It does have that similar kind of look, but it's a little bit smoother. So because this is more of like a vintage piece, I'm not quite sure 100% what the leather is nor the name of the color, but it does have Palladium hardware, and I do know the style is called a Vespa. So I picked this up, I want to say 2017, probably, I think it was like 2017 or 2018, early 2018. So this was the first HERMES handbag. The next piece I added to my collection is this little cute popsicle right here. It is a Picotin 18 in the color Magnolia. It is Clemence leather with Palladium hardware. I added this twilly on there. And so this is from 2018, I believe. Then the next piece I added to my collection is this little slice of sunshine, and this is my Birkin 30. This is in the color Jaune Ambre. It is also in Clemence leather and Palladium hardware. And again, I have twillies decorating this bag. I added that piece to my collection in 2019. And the most recent piece is this, I almost said Clemence, is this Constance 24. It is in the color Etain. It is Epsom leather with Palladium hardware, and you can see the back here. So those are the 4 HERMES handbags that I have in my collection. So those are the 4 handbags that I have in my current collection, the 4 HERMES handbags, of course. And I think it's a nice variety, if you will. I have a vintage style that is very similar to the Evelyn, all the way to the Birkin and Constance, and of course a lovely Picotin. So I'm going to run through each of those, share the main pros and cons and uses that I have for that style, and then I'm gonna go ahead and, like, if I had to force rank them, like, how would the ranking go? So I'll start with the Vespa. I'll keep the same order going. So this is a lovely handbag that is very low-key. It doesn't have any obvious branding on it, so that's what I really like the most about this style. I also love that this is a true hands-free option. This crossbody strap does go long enough for it to be comfortably crossbody. I mean, it's like the perfect size for a pop of color, and this is very hard wearing. The cons I have for this, my not so favorite parts, is that the strap is not quite detachable. Normally that wouldn't really matter, but sometimes, at least what I would have liked to see is like the swivel hardware. if that makes sense, because sometimes it makes it easier to lay on your body. If it was detachable, you could get a different strap from Hermes and add it to the bag and give it a whole different look, but you can't do that. I believe the Evelyn TPMs, you can detach the straps and change the straps out, so that's a point of comparison. The other major negative of this bag is it's actually really tiny. So the size is this big, but because the toggle is here, the realistic amount of space you have to fill your bag is really almost like 3/4 of the bag. So it's actually pretty tiny. It fits my card wallet, my keys, a lip balm, eye drops. That's pretty much it. Sometimes I'll slide my sunglasses like on the top here, like so that it falls vertically like this. But it doesn't hold a ton. So that's just something to keep in mind. But the main use cases I have for this is like running out for quick errands when I know I need to be hands-free. So like recently I took this to the flower market, and it's perfect because you're going to be like picking out flowers. You have to carry your flowers home. Like this is perfect for that because I know I can throw it over my body and I don't have to worry about it. So I feel like this is like a really great like errands bag. And because this is a discontinued style, I've only seen them on the secondhand market. For me, this was the first Hermes piece that I added to my collection, and I chose to go down a vintage route because it was a like lower cost for me to add an Hermes piece, and it gave me an opportunity to try out the Hermes leather, the Hermes craftsmanship, the Hermes style, and like some of the color. So it was a really great piece to introduce me into the world of Hermes handbags, because as you can see, then I started adding more pieces. The next piece I'll deep dive into is the Picotin 18. So I love how lightweight this handbag is. It is in Clemence leather, and I know that might not be the lightest leather. Don't quote me on this because sometimes I get them all confused. It might not be the lightest leather that Hermes offers, but it definitely is a light handbag. I like how it's perfect for a pop of color. I prefer the 18 size, similar to the Vespa. I feel like the 18 is the best size. Once it gets a little bit bigger, it starts to look a little bit unshapely to me. So I like it in this really petite size because I feel like it stays a little bit cuter. Of course, I love this little twilly. It kind of makes it a little bit more girly, and it goes with this color, I think. I like the ease of use. Like, it's not difficult to get in and out of your bag, and you're able to actually fit a good amount of things inside of here. When it comes to the cons for this style, it is only hands-free, and I'm not usually the type of person who likes to get a top handle only bag. I like to have the option of crossbody or shoulder strap or something so I can be hands-free if I need to. So that is definitely a con. I have seen people put straps on the hardware on each side, so they'll attach a strap like this. I haven't tried that yet. I don't know if I really will. It's mostly because I don't like the shape of the bag that much when it kind of opens up like this. I don't think it looks as good. It kind of looks like a bucket bag, but like, I don't know. So I prefer it. I prefer to carry it like this, and I do carry it pretty much strictly as a hand carry bag. And the other con that I have for this is there is very limited organization inside the bag. I know you can get an organizer, so I'm strictly just talking from, you know, when you get the bag and you start using it. Without an organizer, there is very minimal organization. I'm not somebody who typically likes to use bag organizers, so I don't have one for this one. But sometimes it gets a little like clunky in there. Just everything's kind of rolling around. Usually for my other mini bags, let's say for like a Chanel mini, everything kind of has its place and it won't really jostle that much, so everything stays there. But this kind of handbag, it will jostle a little bit. So that's just something I wanted to share. The other piece I wanted to mention is that the inside is untreated. It's like the raw leather on the inside, so that might bother some people. It might seem like it's unfinished to some. I really like that. I think that's what keeps the handbag really light, because there's only like that one layer of leather. But I can imagine if something accidentally spilled or something, that it would stain terribly and like not get out very easily. I tend to use this more on like a date, you know, like if I'm going out and I'm like going to go explore somewhere, I'm like going out on a date, when I want to be a little bit more girly, or I want to add like a pop of color, or like maybe I have like a bit of a tomboy outfit on, but I want to add a little bit of like a girly element, then I would carry this bag. This is mostly for like going out on a date or like going somewhere to explore. Like it's a day where I know I'm going to be like doing some fun things and some cute things, you know what I mean? Like going to trying out a new restaurant or stuff like that. It's not so much like, you know, I'm going to go for errands, I have things I need to buy, and I'm going to come back with a whole bunch of shopping bags, because like you can't carry all of those things in, you know, your hands with this bag. Like it ends up being too much. So this is more when I know I'm not really going to have to carry a lot of other things in my hands. The next bag I'll talk about is my Birkin 30. This is definitely a beautiful pop of color. It is such an iconic silhouette as well. So those are some of the, I guess, pros that I definitely want to mention. Oh, the other bit I wanted to mention is how lovely the feel of this Clemence leather is. This applies to the Picotin. I just forgot to mention it. But this is also Clemence leather, and it just feels divine. Like there's an element of softness, but it's not so soft that you feel like it's going to just like melt and like totally lose its structure. It has a bit of softness, but it still has a bit of stiffness to it, like a little bit of hold. Like it feels thick and sturdy, and I feel like it's just such a lovely combination. It's just such a lovely feel, if that makes sense. It gives a very, very luxurious feel. The other main pro of this bag is the ease of use. Now, it's totally done up right now, so it doesn't look like it's easy to use at all. I completely understand, but usually when I carry it, but this is typically how I carry it. So the bag is actually open and the flaps tucked inside the bag, and if I need to access anything, I can just open and access really easily, and I'm good to go on my way. So ease of use, this bag takes the cake out of all of them. It's the most convenient to use, the most convenient to access the things that you need on the inside. There is also some built-in organization, because there is a pocket on the front flap here, and there is a pocket, there's a zipper pocket on the back. The zipper pocket in the back is where I keep the raincoat, just in case I happen to be outside when there's some moisture coming from the sky. But yeah, other than that, I feel like this is such a beautiful bag, and it's just a really like iconic piece from Hermes. So there are a few cons for this style as well, things that aren't my favorite. One is that it's only a top handle hand carry bag. There's no hands-free option. The other piece I wanted to comment on is also the weight of this bag. So this is a heavier bag. I won't say that it's heavy. I feel like it's pretty similar weight to like a classic flap, to probably like a jumbo classic flap, and the contents that it fits inside is pretty similar to a jumbo. So I would say they're pretty comparable. The only difference is that the jumbo, you could kind of swing it over your shoulder if you want to. This one, you don't really have that option. So you are carrying the weight of the bag in your arms all the time. You know, it is pretty specific to Clemence leather, but I do feel like the bag is starting to sag a little bit. I feel like that's a natural kind of course of the bag kind of aging, and it's not from, like, I don't think there's really too much that I could do to prevent it. That's just something to consider as you have your piece and as you continue to enjoy it. I'm not going to freak out too much about that, because I know that's like the natural kind of process with this bag. I'm not trying to fight it at all. I'm just trying to enjoy it as I age with it as well. So I just make sure that I store it with some air paper on the inside, and I put it tucked away so that it doesn't get exposed to any elements. And as long as I'm doing that, I'm happy with how I'm maintaining the bag itself. But if you have any major tips, let me know, because I always like to learn things as well. Last but not least, the use cases for this style, like when I like to take this out. I do actually like to take this out when I go shopping. I feel like it's a good bag to be able to carry all of my things while I'm going shopping. And usually when I'm shopping, I'll have places where I can put the bag down, so I'm not too like I'm not holding and carrying the bag hours on end. Usually I can rest it somewhere, and so it eases kind of that burden, if you will. I also usually take this out for like brunch or date nights, and yeah, more for like kind of exploration days versus full-on errand days. I don't really think this is a good bag to run a lot of errands in. I feel like it gets a little bit heavy. And unlike a clutch where I'll like put it into one of my shopping bags, like this one is a little bit harder to do that with. So this is more like a going out bag, if that makes sense. Not like a nighttime, I'm going to a club going out, but you know what I mean? Like I'm going out for some sort of lovely event or date or something, you know? All right, last but not least is the Constance. And this is a really gorgeous handbag. I think it looks stunning, and it really looks stunning in pictures. For more of my thoughts on this one, I would definitely reference the best and worst video, because I kind of go in, I go on about this bag in that video, so I'll just do a shortened version here. But basically, I think this looks really beautiful in photos, and I love this size. Because I have a lot of mini bags in my collection, this is a really great size. I like that it's combined, or not combined, I like that it has two compartments to it, so there's some innate organization. You're able to kind of put your things in different spots and keep it organized inside the handbag. I do love this Epsom leather. It's very resilient. It's practically scratch free, and like sometimes when you walk under scaffolding and stuff like that in New York City, like there will be random drops of water coming from God knows where, and you know, this bag is like no problem, nothing gets on it, like nothing like really stains it. It'll just kind of roll right off. So I think that's great. Okay, when it comes to cons and my least favorite parts, I already talked about like this opening and closing. That gets a little bit cumbersome to do, and also this hardware in the front is like a fingerprint magnet. There's no getting away from that at all. And the other piece is that it doesn't really stay on your shoulder. It does right now because I'm only wearing a t-shirt. I'm wearing very thin layers, but over the winter time, I was wearing like sweaters and jackets on top of that, and like this bag would barely stay. It kept rolling down my shoulder. Just that starts to get annoying, because then it practically becomes a hand carry bag, because you can't leave it on your shoulder. You like constantly, like I constantly then put it in with the crook of my arm, or I end up carrying it like this anyway. So it's pretty much a hand carry bag at that point, and that's just not my favorite part either. For use cases, this is pretty similar. Because I can throw it over my shoulder, I do carry this more for errands as well, and for like shopping trips, because it's easy to then throw over my shoulder and start carrying the other shopping bags. But this is a pretty good like everyday bag to carry your essentials and be able to like run out the door. And then last but not least, I want to share my force ranking. So the force ranking means, you know, none of them can be tied. They all have to have their own space. And I'm really like forcing to like figure out which one would kind of land at the top. So I'm going to start at the bottom, like 4th place, what I think is kind of like the worst of my handbags. And that would actually be my Hermes Constance. Despite how beautiful it looks, I do feel like some of the usability is a little too cumbersome. I still carry it and I still take it out with me, but I realize that I don't quite have as much of that like yummy feeling because it gets a little bit cumbersome to carry and then open and close. So this would be in 4th place. 3rd place would be my Vespa TPM, only because of how small it is. It's perfect for running out for quick errands and stuff like that, but sometimes I find that it's a little small. So that's why the Vespa is in 3rd place. The Picotin is in 2nd place, mostly because it's like just a hand carry bag. I do find myself also leaning towards this in the spring summer months only, and not so much fall winter. So it falls a little bit seasonal for me, so that's why it's 2nd place. And then the grand 1st place goes to my Hermes Birkin. I really think the Birkin is a really, really great handbag to use. You could use it for every day. You can use it to go out shopping. Like, I feel like it's such a good size to be able to put all of your essentials and some little bits of extras too, right? Like let's say you went shopping, you picked up a lip balm, like you don't need a whole shopping bag. You can like throw it in your bag, right? This has enough space to be able to accommodate that. And I feel like just this ease of use of access to your things just makes it really, really great. And every time I use it, I like it. Like I never find myself using this and just being like, oh my gosh, like why did I bring this bag out today? That wasn't a good choice. Like I rarely have that feeling, if ever at all. Every time I decide to take this out, I feel like I enjoy using it. I like having it with me, and I like that I'm able to put other stuff in there. So that's why this one ranks to the top and is my #1 handbag in my current Hermes collection. So that was everything. That was my current Hermes handbag in-depth comparison video. I hope you found it helpful. You may see I have a Birkin, I have a Constance. I am curious to try out a Kelly style. On the Hermes best and worst video, some folks have shared that the Kelly might even be worse for me. And I think that, I think it's possible, but I think it might be something you can get used to as well, or I think it might be different, or it might be worse because you have the shoulder strap option and you can wear it fully crossbody. There's a part of me that's just like a little too curious and like has to try it out for myself, you know? So I still might try. I haven't decided 100%, but like, I think any day I'd be happy to add another Birkin to my collection just because I love the Birkin style overall. I feel like it just got really dark. It's not that late in the day, but it's been overcast and now it looks like, you know, doom and gloom's about to fall on the city. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you have any other questions, feel free to leave them down below or head on over to Instagram and I'd be happy to help however I can. If you like this video and you found it helpful, please give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate all of your feedback and support. If you like this kind of content and you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I post new fashion related videos every Sunday and Wednesday. So until next time,